Hi, my name is Norma Knight, and this is my final project for Miss Duncan's class, Humanities 101. Yay! Throughout this project, we're going to talk about the values of humanities, so here we go. What is the values of humanities in the 21st century? The values of humanities in the 21st century has increased tremendously in time. As we've stumbled across several different artworks, it's allowed us as humans to learn so much about each other. Each piece of art tells a different story, and it helps us express the importance of that specific artist and their culture. During the following presentation, I've picked out 3 different genres that I believe are pretty amazing ways to express themselves through. When I talk about art is a good way to express themselves through, most people art can be expressed in different ways, like painting, sculptures, music, cinemas, various different ways. And my 3 personal favorites, one is sculpture. Right here is the sculpture of David by Michelangelo. It was finished in 1504. And the statue, although it's just a statue of a man in the Bible, David, who beat Goliath, he was so much more than that. David had defeated Goliath alone with the help of God, of course. He stood for what Florence had just done. They had just defeated their enemy, and to them he was an idol, and he represented them. And so Michelangelo created this huge statue completely out of marble, and Florence fell in love with it so much that they wanted it to be in the middle of their piazza because it represented them. They had just defeated them same time that Goliath did, and it was their pride and joy. The meaning of this statue is it expresses different values. There are 2 different values that we discussed in chapter 16. One is intrinsic and one is extrinsic, and this one particular to me expresses intrinsic. When I say intrinsic, it means that these values are values that involve feelings and particularly emotions, like you're feeling sad or happy. If you look at the statue, you can just read a lot in the face of David. Michelangelo has presented him. You look at his eyes and he's just ready. He's ready to take on this giant with the rock, and he's just staring down. Although he's just brave, you can see so much in his face. And I'll point at it. Hold on. His face just says it all. He's brave. He's courageous. All these are. Although he might be scared, you can't really tell. It's just a good, strong sculpture. Simply by looking, although he's a little nude, which makes it a little awkward, but it makes me kind of question if he was naked during war, but let's see. Another example of what I wanted to talk about with this sculpture is that you have 2 different artists who created the same sculpture, and 2 different artists have total different, views, outlooks. Same person, same story, stood for the same backgrounds, Florence, David, Goliath, but yet Donatello's statue is a little more, what's the word? Most strong, I guess you could say. It just stands. Michelangelo's was bigger, but Donatello's just is really, I guess the word would be cocky. Donatello's statue of David was created around the 1400s. I chose these 2 statues because they're prime examples of exactly how I said, just how different each piece of art can be and how different artists can be. These statues aren't the same. These statues are the same person, David, the young man who defeated Goliath, and both statues stand out differently. Donatello statue is mainly made of bronze and significantly smaller than Michelangelo's statue. Donatello's statue portrays more extrinsic values rather than intrinsic values. Extrinsic values are values that are the means to intrinsic values. For instance, Donatello's statue standing on the giant's head that he defeated Goliath. This portrays that he is proud, so he is standing on the head of his enemy. Both sculptures are gorgeous, beautiful, however you want to describe them. They're just amazing pieces of art. The detail that goes into both of them. Donatello has a little bit more detail. And I feel like in this statue, he doesn't make David out to be as muscular or manly as Michelangelo does. So it's just really obvious ways that you can take the same thing, but two different people will give you completely different outputs. And that's what I really love about art. Cinemas are the next and most coolest pieces of artwork that I think. I personally favor cinemas due to the fact that they are specific pieces of art that have come a long way. I mean, you've came from taking photographs to making them move quickly and playing them over and over and over, kind of like a little notebook that you draw little stick figures, and the next thing you know, the little stick figures playing, moving, kicking the ball. It's the same thing with the movie. A cinema would have to be my favorite type of artwork, especially because in the 21st century they have different meanings and show you different aspects of the world. Let's see, two that we talked about in the book were the Avatar and the Godfather. Hold on one second, I'll move me out of the way. No, I can't. We'll talk about the Avatar movie. The Avatar movie was produced in 2009 by Mr. James Cameron. In this movie, well, first you look at it and you're like, what are those weird creatures? So you start to question the movie anyway. It brings you in, it draws you in. A good artist does that. There's strange characters. The Avatar not only draws you in, but it retains your attention throughout the whole story. There's a really good story behind it if you actually sit and watch it and not get scared away because of the characters. Cinemas are able to do many things to their viewers. You can make them sad, you can scare them, terrify them, you can make them happy. You can just pull a different side of an audience that normal conversations can't with these people. I mean, these producers take this script, this story, and they put it together and just make a movie out of it. And it's able to do so much to us and our feelings, and the fact that they're able to pull these emotions out of us just by a movie is pretty amazing. The next one is The Godfather. I've not personally seen The Godfather. I know, shocking. Give me a second, let me move myself. The Godfather was produced by Francis Coppola in 1972, and this movie is about an Italian man who flees his country to steer clear of the family business, but he ends up being involved anyway. There are several different types of cinemas, and some genres are common, but every story is unique and different. Some are repetitive. Some plots are reused, but still every movie is different. The Godfather creates suspense and thrill, and it is an art that most definitely intrigues you as well. Photography. Photography plays an important role in our world of art. It shows and expresses a moment in time, a moment that you will never get back but can always reminisce on. And I love that about a picture. Many pictures bring back feelings that one might not expect. Happiness when you were together as a family or with your friends, but sadness because you're no longer friends with them or you're no longer together. Grateful because you have such supportive people in your life, and a lot more. A picture captures beauty and truth. I mean, a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? The picture on the left was taken during the Great Depression by Dorothea Lange and Walker Evans in 1936. A moment captured that tells us probably more than we would like to know. This woman appears to not only be fighting and continuing on because of her 2 children, but she looks weak and worried, as I'm sure many people in the Great Depression were. Adults couldn't vent to their children, so they had to keep on and keep on. Not many people made it, and I'm sure she's worried that she wasn't going to. All she was worried about is just keeping her children alive. It just seems like just in her face. It's not like I knew her. Almost, let's see. Sorry, I lost my place. Almost at her breaking point, she knows she has to keep on, just like I said, and she can't give up. No, it's not a choice for her. It's a photo like this that makes it hard to beat. It's just such a strong portrait. The next one is a picture taken by Mr. Robert Mapplethorpe in 1984, and this picture specifically helps me explain just how important photography can be. Photography tests our mind. There are so many questions one wants to ask about this picture. Are they homosexuals? Are they together and mixing their races? Are they sick? And much more. Sick as in, like, do they have cancer? And many other things. It's pictures that make you curious, that help you capture the true values and get you more involved. Pictures are important and powerful. It's just so much in this that you could just ask and we don't know. And that's what good photo presents. You just don't want to look at a picture and be like, oh, it's just a person smiling. Next, which is a lot of what we have today. It's a lot of selfies. Selfies are not art. A portrait like this is art. You don't know what's going on in this picture, not unless you read the background information, which is really, really neat. You're drawn into it. You want to know about it. Finishing up my presentation, this is my Works Cited page, and I really didn't pull anything else except for out of our textbooks. I had enough information. So this is the Works Cited page for the online textbook. Thank you.